Have you ever had a day where you felt completely overwhelmed, stressed, or heartbroken, and somehow your dog knew exactly how you felt before you said a single word? Maybe they came and sat beside you. Maybe they rested their head on your lap. Maybe they refused to leave your side. At first, it feels almost magical. But what if I told you that your dog might actually be able to smell your emotions? And what scientists have discovered about this ability is far more incredible than most people realize. Dogs don't just see us, they don't just hear us. In many ways, they experience our world through scent. And that changes everything. To understand how dogs can detect emotions, we first need to understand just how powerful a dog's nose really is. Humans have about 6 million scent receptors in their noses. Dogs, depending on the breed, they can have up to 300 million. Just let that sink in for a moment. Imagine living in a world where every scent told a story. A world where a single breath could reveal where someone had been, what they had eaten, whether they were sick, and even how they were feeling. For dogs, that's everyday life. But that's only the beginning. Scientists have discovered that when humans experience emotions such as fear, stress, happiness, or anxiety, our bodies release different chemical compounds. These compounds are often undetectable to us. Yet to a dog, they can be as obvious as a flashing neon sign. One fascinating study put this ability to the test. Researchers collected sweat samples from people while they were relaxed. Then they collected sweat samples from the same people while they were experiencing stress. The dogs were presented with both samples. What happened next surprised researchers. The dogs consistently identified the stress samples. Not only that, but many of them changed their behavior after detecting those scents. Some became more cautious, others became more attentive. Some even sought comfort from their owners. In other words, the dogs weren't simply detecting a scent, they were responding to an emotional state. And this is where things get even more fascinating. Think about those moments when you've had a terrible day. You walk through the front door trying to hide your emotions. You force a smile. You tell everyone you're fine. Yet your dog immediately comes over and stays close. Maybe you've experienced that yourself. Many dog owners have. For years, people assumed dogs were simply reading body language. And yes, dogs are incredibly good at that. But scientists discovered something nobody expected. Even when visual clues are removed, dogs can still detect emotional changes through scent alone. That means your dog may know you're anxious before you've spoken a word. Imagine how incredible that is. Your dog isn't judging you. They're not analyzing your social media posts. They're not listening to your explanations. They're simply sensing changes in your biology. And the reason behind this may surprise you. Dogs evolved alongside humans for thousands of years. During that time, the ability to understand human emotions became a major survival advantage. The better a dog understood people, the stronger the bond became. Generation after generation, dogs became experts at reading us. In some ways, they've become emotional specialists. But there's another remarkable story that demonstrates just how powerful this connection can be. A woman suffering from severe anxiety noticed something unusual about her dog. Minutes before she experienced a panic attack, her dog would become alert. The dog would follow her around, nudge her, and refuse to leave her side. At first, she thought it was coincidence. Then, it kept happening, again and again. Long before she recognized the symptoms herself, her dog seemed to know. Today, specially trained service dogs help thousands of people with anxiety disorders and PTSD. Many of these dogs can detect subtle changes in body chemistry before their owners even realize something is wrong. Think about that. A dog can sometimes recognize emotional distress faster than the person experiencing it. But that's still not the most surprising part. Researchers have found that emotions can actually spread between dogs and humans. This phenomenon is called emotional contagion. When you're stressed, your dog may become stressed too. When you're calm, your dog often becomes calmer. When you're happy and excited, your dog's energy frequently rises right along with yours. It's almost like an invisible emotional conversation happening all day long. And once you know about it, you start seeing it everywhere. Have you ever noticed your dog becoming restless when you're nervous? Or relaxing when you finally sit down and unwind? There's a scientific reason for that. Dogs are constantly gathering information from their environment. They're observing, listening, smelling, processing, and combining all those signals into a surprisingly accurate understanding of how you're feeling. The next discovery completely changed what we thought we knew. Scientists began studying how dogs respond to human tears. The results were remarkable. Many dogs showed increased attention and concern when people cried. Some approached to offer comfort. Others stayed physically close. Many owners described their dogs gently resting a paw on them or leaning against them during emotional moments. Now, dogs don't necessarily understand sadness the same way humans do, but they clearly recognize that something important is happening, and they respond.
Here's another incredible fact. Dogs don't only detect negative emotions too. When you're excited, your body releases different chemical signals. When you're genuinely happy, your scent changes, and your dog notices. That's one reason dogs often become wildly excited when you're celebrating something. They're not just reacting to your voice, they're picking up on biological signals that reinforce your emotional state. In a sense, happiness has a scent, and your dog can smell it. Now, imagine being able to walk into a room and instantly know who feels stressed, who feels relaxed, and who feels excited. That's much closer to a dog's reality than ours. For humans, emotions are often hidden. For dogs, emotions may be much harder to conceal. And this may explain one of the biggest mysteries dog owners experience. Why do dogs seem to choose exactly the right moment to comfort us? Why do they appear beside us when we're lonely? Why do they stay close during difficult times? Part of the answer may be hidden in the invisible world of scent, a world we can barely imagine, a world our dogs navigate every single day.
And perhaps that's one reason dogs have earned the title of humanity's best friend. Not because they're perfect, not because they're obedient, but because they connect with us in ways few other animals can. They notice what we try to hide. They stay when others leave. They offer comfort without asking questions. And sometimes, when life feels overwhelming, they seem to understand exactly what we need. Maybe that's why so many people describe their dogs as family. Because the bond goes far beyond feeding, walking, or playing. It's emotional. It's personal. If you enjoyed discovering the amazing science behind how dogs can smell emotions, make sure to subscribe for more incredible dog facts, heartwarming stories, and fascinating insights into the animals that share our lives every day.